Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
The process of giving birth. The event of being born. They celebrated the birth of their first child. The kinship relation of an offspring to the parents. Cause to be born. A baby born, an offspring. The overall rate of incidence of Down syndrome is 1 in every 800 births. The time when something begins, especially life. They divorced after the birth of the child. The process of giving birth. The process of giving birth. The process of giving birth. The event of being born. The event of being born. The event of being born. The theological doctrine that Jesus Christ had no human father. Christians believe that Jesus' birth fulfilled Old Testament prophecies and was attended by miracles. The Nativity is celebrated at Christmas. The state of being a parent. The kinship relation of an offspring to the parents. The descendants of one individual. Put up with something or somebody unpleasant. I cannot bear his constant criticism. Have on one's person. Bear a scar. Bring forth. Take on as one's own the expenses or debts of another person. She agreed to bear the responsibility. Behave in a certain manner. Cause to be born. Have rightfully. Of rights, titles, and offices. She bears the title of Duchess. Contain or hold. Have within. Bring in. Interest-bearing accounts. Support or hold in a certain manner. Be pregnant with. She is bearing his child. An investor with a pessimistic market outlook. An investor who expects prices to fall and so sells now in order to buy later at a lower price. Have. Bear a resemblance. Massive plantigrade carnivorous or omnivorous mammals with long shaggy coats and strong claws. Move while holding up or supporting. Bear a heavy load. Free from harm or evil. To surrender someone or something to another. The guard delivered the criminal to the police. Hand over to the authorities of another country. Throw or hurl from the mound to the batter, as in baseball. The pitcher delivered the ball. Pass down. Deliver a judgment. Deliver, a speech, oration, or idea. Carry out or perform. Deliver an attack. Relinquish possession or control over. Cause to be born. Save from sins. Bring to a destination, make a delivery. Our local supermarket delivers. Utter, an exclamation, noise, etc. The students delivered a cry of joy. Cause to be born. Create or produce an idea. Serve oneself to, or consume regularly. Undergo, as of injuries and illnesses. Have or possess, either in a concrete or an abstract sense. Have sex with, archaic use. Have ownership or possession of. How many cars does she have? Achieve a point or goal. Go through, mental or physical states or experiences. Have a feeling. Get something. Come into possession of. A person who possesses great material wealth. Organize or be responsible for. Have, throw, or make a party. Undergo. Have as a feature. Cause to be born. Cause to move. Cause to be in a certain position or condition. Cause to do. Cause to act in a specified manner. Receive willingly something given or offered. The only girl who would have him was the miller's daughter. Have a personal or business relationship with someone. Have a postdoc. Have left. I have 2 years left. Suffer from. Be ill with. A process occurring in living organisms. A process occurring in living organisms. Lay aside, abandon, or leave for another. The car changed lanes. Cause to change. Make different. Cause a transformation. The discussion has changed my thinking about the issue. Exchange or replace with another, usually of the same kind or category. He changed his name. An event that occurs when something passes from one state or phase to another. The change was intended to increase sales. Become different in some particular way, without permanently losing one's or its former characteristics or essence. Her mood changes in accordance with the weather. Give to, and receive from, one another. Would you change places with me? Become deeper in tone. His voice began to change when he was 12 years old. Change from one vehicle or transportation line to another. She changed in Chicago on her way to the East Coast. A difference that is usually pleasant. It is a refreshing change to meet a woman mechanic. A different or fresh set of clothes. She brought a change in her overnight bag. A relational difference between states, especially between states before and after some event. He attributed the change to their marriage. A thing that is different. He inspected several changes before selecting one. Change clothes. Put on different clothes. Coins of small denomination regarded collectively. He had a pocketful of change. Money received in return for its equivalent in a larger denomination or a different currency. He got change for a 20 and used it to pay the taxi driver. Remove or replace the coverings of. Father had to learn how to change the baby. The action of changing something. The change of government had no impact on the economy. The balance of money received when the amount you tender is greater than the amount due. I paid with a 20 and pocketed the change. The result of alteration or modification. There were marked changes in the lining of the lungs. Undergo a change. Become different in essence, losing one's or its original nature. She changed completely as she grew older. The act of making something different, as e.g. the size of a garment. An event that occurs when something passes from one state or phase to another. The neighborhood had undergone few modifications since his last visit years ago. The grammatical relation that exists when a word qualifies the meaning of the phrase. Slightly modified copy. Not an exact copy. A modification of last year's model. The act of making something different, as e.g. the size of a garment. An event that occurs when something passes from one state or phase to another. The act of revising or altering, involving reconsideration and modification. Anthropology, relatedness or connection by blood or marriage or adoption. A close connection marked by community of interests or similarity in nature or character. Felt a deep kinship with the other students. Anthropology, relatedness or connection by blood or marriage or adoption. Anthropology, relatedness or connection by blood or marriage or adoption. A relation between people. Relationship is often used where relation would serve, as in the relationship between inflation and unemployment, but the preferred usage of relationship is for human relations or states of relatedness. The relationship between mothers and their children. A state involving mutual dealings between people or parties or countries. A state of connectedness between people, especially an emotional connection. He didn't want his wife to know of the relationship. Come to have or undergo a change of physical features and attributes. Bring out for display. The proud father produced many pictures of his baby. Cause to happen, occur or exist. This procedure produces a curious effect. Fresh fruits and vegetable grown for the market. Bring onto the market or release. Produce a movie. Bring forth or yield. The tree would not produce fruit. Cultivate by growing, often involving improvements by means of agricultural techniques. The Bordeaux region produces great red wines. Create or manufacture a man-made product. We produce more cars than we can sell. Make, offspring, by reproduction. Bring into existence. Bring out for display. Bring forth or yield. The immaterial part of a person. The actuating cause of an individual life. Deep feeling or emotion. A human being. A secular form of gospel that was a major black musical genre in the 1960s and 1970s. Soul was politically significant during the civil rights movement. The human embodiment of something. The soul of honor. A human being. A human being. There was too much for one person to do. A grammatical category used in the classification of pronouns, possessive determiners, and verb forms according to whether they indicate the speaker, the addressee, or a third party. Stop talking about yourself in the third person. A human body, usually including the clothing. A weapon was hidden on his person. Characteristic of or meant for a single person or thing. An individual serving. Being or characteristic of a single thing or person. Individual drops of rain. A human being. Separate and distinct from others of the same kind. Mark the individual pages. Concerning one person exclusively. We all have individual cars. A single organism. A human being. Causing or capable of causing death. Mortal combat. A human being. Involving loss of divine grace or spiritual death. Subject to death. Mortal beings. Unrelenting and deadly. Mortal enemy. Serving to begin. The beginning canto of the poem. The time at which something is supposed to begin. The place where something begins, where it springs into being. The Italian beginning of the Renaissance. The act of starting something. He was responsible for the beginning of negotiations. The event consisting of the start of something. The beginning of the war. The first part or section of something. It was a dark and stormy night, is a hackneyed beginning for a story. The time at which something is supposed to begin. She knew from the get-go that he was the man for her. The time at which something is supposed to begin. A start given to contestants. I was there with my parents at the kickoff. Football. A kick from the center of the field to start a football game or to resume it after a score.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.